Dioxin is a man-made chemical that is being recognized scientifically as one of the most toxic chemicals known to mankind. And because it is a byproduct of burning chlorine-containing wastes, chlorinated organic compounds, then there is obviously a potential to create dioxin in the cement kilns. It is persistent in the environment, which means it can survive for many, many years. And so obviously there is a potential for accumulation of dioxin in the environment around Midlothian in Ellis County in the agricultural areas, and for the dioxin to accumulate through the grass, through the water supply, and on up as you go through the food chain into from the herbivores through the cows and to people who eat the beef and the dairy products.
Sorry, old fella.
You've been dealt a dirty blow. We basically just documented the problems, like with this mare here. I don't know because of the way the sun is, if you can see or not, but see there's enlargement right here in this gland, along there. Hold your head up, I know it hurts. But right in there she's swollen. Under here she's also swollen. There's congestion in that gland. And then also on her side over here, you can see this indentation. There's an extra muscle that has developed there. You won't see that in a well cared for horse unless they're having difficulty breathing. And you know, I spoke with the vet and he said that he just doesn't see those lines on the abdomen unless it's a horse that they refer to as heavers, which they're having trouble breathing. And at the time that we started having difficulty health-wise, so did our pets, our animals, our neighbors, our relatives, and our friends in the area. And when you've lived here for 20-some-odd years, you can tell a difference. We went on just thinking that Lady Luck wasn't going to smile on us anymore for 5 years before we ever even knew that they were burning hazardous waste. You know, with our health problems and what have you. And people that have moved from the area, their horses were also experiencing symptoms like this and reproductive problems. The ones that have moved from the area, the horses don't have these symptoms anymore. The gentleman up the road, he was sick at the same time that his cow was. She just lost her equilibrium. It was difficult for her to get up and down. It progressively got much, much worse. She could not walk, she would fall. Something had affected her neurologically. It became apparent that she would never, ever recover, so we had her euthanized.
Because the cement plants do not have to abide by the stricter standards, they can charge less for disposing of the waste at their facilities. And so where does all the waste go now in the country? It goes to cement plants instead of to commercial hazardous waste incinerators. For instance, some of the standards that are different, if this material behind us, what's called cement kiln dust, the residual waste that's left over after burning, at a commercial incinerator, they would have to put that in a commercial hazardous waste landfill because it's coming out of a process that has hazardous waste residues in it. Here, they just dump it in the back 40 more or less, as you can see behind me. If they were making a product at a commercial incinerator, they would have to label that product as being manufactured with hazardous waste ingredients and residues still in it. Here, they're exempt from that. They don't have to label the cement that comes out of this plant behind me, TXI, as being made with hazardous waste, even though there are hazardous waste residues in there, and even though federal law demands it of hazardous waste incinerators, these guys are exempt. There are also emission standards and other kinds of standards they don't have to meet, and that's what makes it so cheap to use these guys if you're a polluter to send your waste here instead of sending it to a commercial facility.
Cement kilns are given certain exceptions that commercial incinerators aren't given. These exceptions create a double standard and allow them to pollute the air to a much greater degree than heavily regulated commercial plants. It may even be a significant health risk to people downwind, all the way 15, 20, 30 miles away. When the wind blows, there may be a certain amount of pollution that comes into Dallas. I would be concerned about the entire area, not only the area in Midlothian, which is probably the biggest concern, but anywhere that the air could blow.
We are here today because when government is not responsive to the needs of its citizens and public policy does not promote public health, then changes must be made. Only through an informed public can we make these changes. And so we are coming before you to talk about the problems and dangers of burning hazardous waste in cement kilns.
What's going on out here is a serious thing, and it's keeping my kids in the house when they should be outside playing. We have to watch every day, and we try to, watch which direction the wind is out of, and I can't see that the government is doing anything to correct the problem.
This is our home. We haven't done anything wrong. Why should we move? This wasn't going on when we moved here.